There's a great difference between soloing on rock and soloing on ice. Nice crack up here.
Yeah, looks like a good size.
Yeah.
Pretty steep though.
Very steep.
So when I go into it, I carry with me a positive attitude. I create an image in my mind of doing it. I don't know how much of it's fate and how much it's luck and how much of it's self-creativity, but somehow there's a blend there because you have certain things happen to you that they're too coincidental to just be happenstance.
Jeff Lowe is probably the most famous and accomplished alpinist in the world.
Jeff Lowe's arguably the greatest alpinist to come out of North America.
He saw the future before a lot of other people, and then he was able to realize it.
The music editor from the Rolling Stone was asked what Miles Davis's accomplishments were for music. He said he changed music a few times. And Jeff Lowe has changed climbing a few times. He was the first one to climb a beautiful, steep ice fall anywhere. And that was Bridal Veil Falls. And then a year later, he proved that it wasn't a fluke, and he went back and he soloed it without a rope. And we're talking ancient times in climbing history.
You know, he literally is the father of modern ice and mixed climbing. He has invented the tools we take for granted, and he has unlocked the terrain that was inconceivable to climb.
He had this insane vision. He would look at something, he would look at a piece of rock that I'd looked at 500 times, and he would see a way to climb it. He did some routes in the Canadian Rockies, and I'm not smart enough to remember all the names, but some of them have barely been repeated to this day. You know, and the naysayers will say, well, it's due to global warming, you know, and there's just no more snow there. But you know what? Jeff would have done them last week if he still had the body to do them.
That's what he finds interesting about this process. About this what? About this experience. You're experiencing things from the inside out. Just give me that one word I'm not getting. Oh, he's learning things from the inside out. Right, normally we learn from outside your experience against things and things happen and all that, but he's learning things from the inside out.
Jeff has a motor neuron disease, and ALS is a motor neuron disease. It's like motor neuron disease is an umbrella, and under that are lots of different diseases, and one of those is ALS. What Jeff has is similar to ALS. They have all these criteria, right? But they've determined that he doesn't actually have ALS, but it looks like it, and it acts like it, except Jeff has lived a lot longer than anyone that's with ALS normally does. I think Jeff is still exploring possibilities and finding out what he's really capable of, and exploring who is he really and what is his purpose in life. All those questions that he was seeking answers to in the mountains, he's seeking right here in the wheelchair on the deck. And so the essence of who he is hasn't changed. It's still the same.
And at first, it didn't seem to be that debilitating, but gradually he was not able to get out and climb as much, and it was becoming more painful. It was pretty upsetting to see someone who was such a physical person and who pushed standards using his body so high, and then to all of a sudden, or to not all of a sudden, but to gradually start to lose that, and to now be at a point where he can't pursue that at all is a pretty sad situation.
diagnosis doesn't really matter because they're all, there's nothing you can do about any of them. So rather than try to, worry about what it is, Jeff's just trying to live his life and fulfill his latest dream. And I think that's the humbling thing about Jeff, is that this is right on the table. We know how this is going to end. We just don't know when, and we don't know the path. One of the things that I've learned by being with Jeff as he's going through this is that dying is a part of life, and we're all subject to it. And I think when it comes time for me to go, and the other people who've been around Jeff, that we'll be able to celebrate the process, and just simply by being able to talk about it. It's not something that happens to us, it's something we participate in. And I think that's where Jeff has hit a home run here, is that he is participating in it, and Connie is participating in it, and the people who hang out with Jeff participate in this. And boy, what a way to go.
I hope not to die in the mountains, because if I do die in the mountains, it'll probably be because I've made a mistake. That would be a disappointment to me. It'd be a failure of my efforts to control my actions in the mountains. I want to die at about 99 years of age, in bed, surrounded by my family, going peacefully.